here today. You guys seem awake. And I know that some people in here, I'm not naming names, had some coffee this morning, and I'm asking that you not have any more coffee because that's a lot of energy for me. But if you have that energy with you, bring it and let's put it in what we're doing right here, right now. Okay? So I want to say good morning to you. And I want to say, when you are reading, think back to that time when you were reading. Remember that time? You have what are those fancy things in front of you? Books. You have the book in front of you. And you're reading. And you're reading. And you keep reading because you're curious. And you want to know, oh gosh, what's going to happen next? Can you think of that time? Do you know what? Do you know what it is that has engaged you? Do you know what it is that makes you want to keep going? It's this fancy thing right here. Suspense. I want you, in a voice level 1, for the next 10 seconds, turn to talk to your neighbor about what you believe suspense is. Go. Last words. Last words. And period. Okay. At this time, I would love for volunteers to raise his or her hand and share what you heard someone say they believe suspense is. Ma'am.
I heard someone say that suspense keeps you on the ground, keeps you hanging.
Keeps you hanging? Ooh, interesting thought.
I heard someone say that it's something that happens in a surprising way.
Something that happens in a surprising way. Benji, what did you hear? You forgot. Okay. If you remember, it's okay.
I heard someone say that when you're watching TV shows, until the time, it keeps you hanging.
Keeps you hanging, okay? And one more.
I heard someone say that suspense is something that gets you excited. That's something that appear in your life.
That's very good. So, suspense, it's a tool. You know, like hammers are tools, pencils are tools. Suspense is a writing tool, okay? When you are a writer, which every single one of you are, you're authors, what you're going to do is you're going to build suspense. Because suspense causes your reader to wonder or worry. Because if you are telling the story and your main character says, I wonder what's going on. I wonder where my dad is. I'm a little bit worried. Gosh, where's my dad? As a reader, you're like, where is your dad? Right? Have you ever had that experience? That empathy, where you feel what the characters are feeling? You go through the same things? Suspense is where the writer uses the characters and the words to control the way you feel and what you think. Okay? To me, that's kind of magical. Do you agree? Disagree? Okay. Oh. So let me go ahead and talk to you guys about the magic of 3. Suspense? Suspense is like that extra pepper or salt on your food, like the salsa to your chips, the queso to your guacamole. Yes? It just makes everything a little bit better. Yes? You have an ice cream cone, but then you get sprinkles on top. It's even better, right? Yes? So what we're going to do is we're going to use red flag words at the start of our sentences to make our story better. And I'm just going to give you a few red flag words, and I would like for you to copy them in your notebook. But I want you to know that these are not the only red flag words that exist. Now, there's a formula. Do you guys know what formulas are? Well, what's a formula, sir? What's a formula?
I've heard it, but I don't know.
Ooh. So you guys said, I saw a lot of faces that were like, yeah, I know what formula is. And I just asked what it first, well, I think I know what it is. I've heard of it before. So what I would like for you guys to do is help each other remember. What you're going to do again is you're going to turn and talk for just 10 seconds and try to remind each other what a formula is. And I'm going to give you a hint. You often use it in math class. Go. When you have the hint number 1, remember you're not telling the whole thing because you ruin the surprise. Like you know my sons, Lennon and McCartney? They're little, right? They're 4 and 5 now, and they say, Mommy, I have a surprise for you. I got you flowers. Like, oh, okay. Do you know what your surprise is? Yes. How did you know? You told me. I did? Yeah, maybe you did. Okay, surprise! And I get these beautiful flowers, and I love my flowers. But if they were to hide the flowers, what I like to do is scavenger hunt. Have you ever done a scavenger hunt?
Yes.
You give clues. That leads you to the next thing, and it leads you to the next thing, and then finally you get to the end, and you're like, yay, I found it. That's what this is. It's like a scavenger hunt. It's like a clue. You're leading your audience up and up and up to get to the final reveal, and that's what everybody wants. The only thing is, remember, when we're telling a story, when we are the writers, the authors, you don't actually tell a story. What do?
You
Show,
don't tell.
Again?
Show, don't tell.
Very good. We show, because it's a lot more interesting to show. And what is it that we use to show? Anybody remember what it is that we need to use to show? Anyone? No, but what is our
Five senses.
Yes, our 5 senses. So each hint could be a different sense. Okay? So you can use your sense of
Hearing.
Hold on, just hold your horses. Hearing, what you hear, but it's what you see. Hold on, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. It's what you see. And then the last one, I mean, there are the 5 senses, but we don't use taste very often. Okay, because if you're writing a story about your friend, I don't want you tasting your friend. Okay, so I want you to think about hearing, seeing, and what's the last one? Touching. Please don't smell your friends. I've smelled them before, especially after recess in that summer heat. So what I want you guys to do is your sense of what is felt or sensed. Okay? So it's feel or sense. So when you are using your hints, you can maybe for the first one you can talk about what you hear. Second one, what you see. Or third one is what you feel or sense. I felt as if somebody's eyes were staring at me. Ooh, yeah. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm going to do my very best for you today to be an actress. Are you ready to see me get my Academy Award?
Yes.
You ready? And I want you to use your observation skills and put words inside your mind as to what I'm doing, because you're going to use my example to write together as a class the magic of 3 based on what I'm doing here. Okay? Are you ready? Here's Miss Brule. I need your eyes on me so I know you're ready. When your eyes are on me, you know we're ready to proceed. You guys, how's it go? Thank you so much. So, I want you to describe what was going on at the scene. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I haven't given you the reveal because you don't know what's inside that box, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't make a guess. What we're doing is we're going to be the authors. Help me as a class right now set the scene. What was Miss Brule doing right when we get started? But walking, that is true. Miss Brule was walking across the classroom, but is there another way to say walking? Perhaps a more interesting word? Yes, sir?
Miss Brule was strolling.
Strolling, okay. So let's start that off. And now I need a red flag word. One of those red flag words. This is how it works. So what else do you see?
Her eyes getting bigger and bigger.
Big with what? Fear?
With surprise.
What? Joy. So put it all together for me. Someone put it all those little dots together.
Getting bigger with
Gasping her
eyes with
joy.
Her eyes beamed with joy. Nice word. Beamed with joy. Now, remember, all good writers go back and reread what we've written before we continue on. Mrs. Brule strolled across the class. Out of the blue, she stumbled upon a mysterious box. Mrs. Brule pondered, what's inside that package? A moment later, her hands furiously grasped the flaps and the cardboard rumbled. The next thing she knew, her eyes locked on the object inside. Gasping, her eyes beamed with joy. Did you guys like that? You guys like that?
Yeah.
You want to know what the reveal is?
Yeah.
Yes! It's one of my favorite books. This is the hint number 1, this is hint number 2, this is hint number 3, and then ta-da! What is this?
Your favorite part?
What did I just tell you this was?
Reveal.
The reveal! Yeah, there you go. So let me reread what we have written so far as a class together. Mrs. Brule strolled across the class. Out of the blue, she stumbled upon a mysterious box. Mrs. Brule pondered, what's inside that package? A moment later, her hands fiercely grasped the flaps and the cardboard rumbled. The next thing she knew, her eyes locked on the object inside. Gasping, her eyes beamed with joy. There, lying on the bottom, was her favorite. What do you guys think of your story?
Good.
Good?
Love it.
You love it?
Perfect.
Yeah. You like it? You love it? You want more of it?
Yeah, more of
Okay, well guess what? I want more of it. What's going to happen is you guys are going to tell that story. Do you understand? You guys enjoy that? I really enjoyed that process with you. Well, I want you to use, you're going to use this formula. Did you guys finish copying this?
No.
You need help time finishing. So those of you who aren't finished, go ahead and finish it now. Meanwhile, I'm going to talk to you about what we are going to do next. What I'm going to have you do next is you are going to think back to last week when we listened to that podcast. Remember of Churchill's Secret Army from Noreen Reels? Remember that? Or Riles? Remember that? Reels, excuse me. Yes, remember that? Remember her secret life?
Yes.
Well, your task, ladies and gentlemen, if you choose to accept it, and you must choose to accept it, is you are going to write your own realistic fiction. Let me write this over here. Realistic fiction story. And I'm going to underline the word real. Why? Why did I underline the word real in realistic fiction? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Because it has to be